You need to break your 9 to 5 habits. Business owners, let's have a real conversation here. Your 9 to 5 habits do not work in the business world. And the reason for that is because your business is set up to actually be way more successful than trading your time for money. Now, do you do that in your business? For sure. If you have one-on-one services, you're trading your time for money. But there are habits that we learn in the 9 to 5 world because as a society, that is what we are conditioned to do. Like we go to school 9 to 5, like we're literally conditioned our entire lives to work this 9 to 5 way. But when you start your own business, there's a lot of those habits that are not going to be beneficial. So today I want to chat with you about those and how you can break these 9 to 5 habits. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a business coach and marketing strategist. And what I focus on is helping entrepreneurs close the gap between where they are and where they want to be by implementing business strategies, marketing strategies, and mindset strategies. So let's talk about the 9 to 5 habits. First, we need to identify what these habits are, and then we need to decide if they're actually benefiting us or not. So I want to talk to you about some of them, some that are probably going to resonate with you or that are going to come to mind in the sense of like, yeah, you're totally right. Like that totally is a 9 to 5 habit. So let's talk about it. The first one is you have to work a certain amount of time. I see so many business owners jamming their schedule and their calendars to work 9 to 5. Is there a problem with that? No. But realistically, if you are focused, you might be able to actually get that done so much quicker. But we don't give ourselves the opportunity to do that because we're conditioned to work 9 to 5. And we feel like if we're working like 9 to 4 or only working 9 to noon, then we're not doing enough to grow our businesses. With that said, there's definitely times and seasons within business that you do need to dedicate more time to it. But eventually you want your business to support your lifestyle. And if you don't see yourself working 9 to 5, then you probably shouldn't be doing that in your business, and you need to structure your business to actually support you in working less hours. Meaning like having things that people can purchase without you having to be here. Meaning, that could be like courses or programs that someone just goes in, buys it, and they go ahead and do it. And you created it one time and you don't have to kind of do anything with it again, right? So just to recap, working a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of time. That's a 9 to 5 habit, working 9 to 5. Okay. Another one is taking lunch at a certain time or not taking lunch at all and working at your desk. Okay. I used to be guilty of this when I was working 9 to 5, where I would be like, there's no time for lunch, so I'm going to eat and keep working. Let me tell you, I was not getting paid for that 1 hour of lunch that I was going above and beyond. So I don't know why I was doing that, but I was conditioned to, right? 9 to 5 habits. So now as a business owner, what I do is like I actually go and have my lunch away from my office area. Sometimes it's an hour lunch, sometimes it's a 2 hour lunch. Sometimes I don't go back to work after because I'm like, I already finished everything for the day. That's ways that you can break that 9 to 5 habit, right? Like, do you have to take lunch at a certain time? With that said, definitely take lunch, okay? Please take your lunch, okay? Your health is more important than anything else, and you need to eat. So even if right now that looks like 30 minutes away from your computer so that your brain has the opportunity to like disconnect from your business for at least 30 minutes, please go ahead and do that. Another 9 to 5 habit is to overwork ourselves and go above and beyond. Disclaimer here. As a business owner, I go above and beyond for my clients all the time, because like I genuinely want to see them be successful. And when they're telling me all the success that they're having, it feels like it's my own success and it makes me so happy. So it's just natural for me to do that, but because I'm doing it in something that I'm passionate about. Now, on the other side of this, the overwork looks like I didn't make a sale today, so I have to do like all these additional things. Let's not do that. That's a 9 to 5 habit where you feel like the more you work, the more validation you're going to get down the line, when really you can give your validation right now. And I actually have other videos about this in terms of mindset shifts. That's like, give yourself the feeling and the energy and that validation now that you are working towards so you can close the gap on where you are and where you want to be. That comes into the overwork. You feel like you're not being validated by outside forces like getting sales or having someone say something to you or whatever that looks like, but you have to look at it from a point of view of like, you've done everything you could, so now focus on your energy, because that's going to be the missing piece here. But that's not what the 9 to 5 world tells us. The 9 to 5 world tells us that if we're sitting in front of our computer, we're going to make more money. When sometimes it's when you walk away from your computer that you're going to make more money. I have literally, this is true story, gone for a walk in the middle of the day and ran into someone and started talking. Like just casual conversation, like, what's going on? How are you? Whatever. Telling them about my business. We exchanged Instagram accounts and they became a client. That would not have happened if I had stayed in front of my computer and overworked. Okay? The other one, and the one that we can most relate to, is that our pay is based on the time we put into the work. So if we work 5 hours, we get paid 5 hours. But the 9 to 5 world does work that way, but the business world doesn't necessarily work that way, because you can create a course and have that selling. That's what's considered passive income, where you don't have to trade your time for it anymore, right? Or that looks like one-to-one work. Like if you're doing like one-on-one services, but like your hourly rate isn't $10, it isn't $20, it isn't $30, maybe it's much higher than that, right? So that's not necessarily how it works. And also as a business owner, you're wearing a lot of hats. So you're doing your social media, you're doing your marketing, you're doing your emails, you're doing your client stuff, you're creating these, like you're doing so many things. So your time is being allocated to different parts of your business. And you got to know that doing that, like, although it may seem like I don't want to do admin work that doesn't bring me money, yes, it does. Like that stuff needs to happen for you to make money. You showing up on social media needs to happen so that you can like tell the world that you are open for business. A lot of the times we forget that, like Victoria's Secret, just gonna call them out. They email me every single day, okay? And women on here are gonna know that we don't go and buy bras every week or every day, or underwear every week or every day. We probably go and buy a bra like twice a year, if that. Yet they're emailing me every single day. Every single day. I've unsubscribed more times than I can count, because every time I go back into that store, they re-add me to the list, and then I'm like, I gotta unsubscribe again. But they're constantly knocking at my door saying like, we're open for business, or we might have something that you like. Okay? So you need to be doing the same. You could put in 1 hour of work and get paid for 6 hours. That is just the reality of it, because you're running a business. You don't have to sit in front of your computer from 9 to 5 to make money, because your social media and your website and all these other things that you have going can actually call in clients and magnetize them without you being in front of your computer. That right there changes that 9 to 5 habit. So I want you to ask yourself, when do I do the best work? If you are not a morning person, please don't force yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 or 8 or 9 if you have no energy to actually do the work for the day. I would rather you sleep in and create a schedule that works for you. So if you get a lot more work done between like noon and 3, make that your power hour to get your work done. Ask yourself, how would I run this business if it was a passion project? This is a really great question, because it takes away the pressure of making sales, which is amazing, because then you like kind of go into this brainstorming dump of all these things that you're like, this is so freeing and creative and fun. Please take action on those, because your energy behind those is going to be so powerful and people are going to notice that. Ask yourself, how do you want to help people? That's a great question to ask yourself. Because a lot of the times we get hung up on like, I'm selling this thing, but it's like, no. Like, how is this thing going to help people, and how do I want to help people through it? Then think about your lunch. Like, when do you like to have lunch? Sometimes I have lunch at 11, because at 11 I'm hungry. Like, I'm going to go eat, and then I'll come back after I eat, because I feel better, and like my brain is more turned on when I have lunch. And what does that look like? Is it sitting in front of the TV and watching your favorite show? Is it eating something and going for a walk after, reading a book? Like, what does that look like? You're making your own rules here. How fun is that? How many hours do you want to work? And again, there's definitely seasons in your business where you're going to have to put in more hours, simply because you're like working on certain foundations or building certain things. But ultimately, like, how many hours do you want to work? And then what are you doing outside of that work time? Because otherwise you're going to fall into the habit of overworking, Because you're like, I can't give myself this thing that I desire, which is free time to do what? What are you doing? Are you going to take coffee breaks? Are you going to go on walking breaks? Do you like to work out in the morning without having to wake up at 6 a.m.? Maybe you're waking up at 9 and going and working out and then coming back and then working. Right? You have to break these 9 to 5 habits because they're holding you back from actually seeing the potential of your business. And in turn, they're turning a business into a job. And I want you to have a business, something that actually supports the lifestyle that you want to have. So if these questions are like, nothing's coming out for them, think about your lifestyle. What is the life that you want to be living in a year from now? What are the things that you're doing day to day? What does your business look like? What does your income look like? What are you doing day to day? Who are you hanging out with? Where are you shopping? Where do you go grocery shopping? What are you doing? And then ask yourself how the 9 to 5 habits are hindering you from getting there and what needs to change. And then what that change is what you need to take action on.